So hi y'all, my name is Anneli Melissa Kandawa. I'm 23 years old and I'm from Zimbabwe. Currently I stay in Malaysia. I'm doing my final year studies in professional communication. I'm a Christian. I enjoy talking, singing and dancing. So I wanted to share with you my testimony about God's greatness in my life. So the past year, I think 2019, that's when I realized I started showing signs of depression. And people have had conversations with me, have heard me like, or talking about how depressed I feel, or just talking about how I feel. And yeah, it was really hard. I'll talk about that like as we proceed. So I realized, I think last year, that I had like severe depression. I would just wake up and just cry, and every time I would just feel sad. Sometimes it wasn't for any good reason, like you would ask me to pinpoint what's making me feel sad or what's making me feel heavy, and I wouldn't be able to pinpoint the thing. But then I remember this other day just sitting down in my room. We used to have Tuesday prayers at our church. I couldn't attend the prayers. So I remember this other day I was just praying in my room. Then I just sat down behind my door. I just sat down. I closed the door though, but it was just behind my door. Then I just sat down. I remember crying to God. I was like, I don't want to feel this way anymore, because it was just too much. You know, you wake up, the first thing you feel so heavy. You go to sleep, you struggle with sleeping. So it was just toxic. Like I was even a toxic person. Like I couldn't be a good friend, I couldn't be a good anything to anyone, because I was just a toxic person with that depression. Like I was just, my energy was just off, and I felt as though it would throw some people's energies off, and due to that I isolated myself, which is like the worst thing to do when you're going through through such a season. You need people around you. But then for me, I remember isolating myself and pushing people away, which is not good. And the past week, I think it stopped. Actually, it stopped. I'm skipping the last year thingy. It stopped, I think, for a really long time. Then fast forward to the shutdown. I think the shutdown, it makes you really realize who you are and what you've been like suppressing deep within, because I got to spend more time alone, and I didn't have my escape routes. I thought I had healed, but I think I had my escape, like spending time with people, forcing interactions. I think for me was an escape from dealing with that depression. But then with the shutdown, it was, I think, like I don't have people around me anymore, which means like that thing where I'm now alone. I felt as though I had to face everything alone. So with the shutdown thingy, like it has been hard. I won't even lie, like there's been that time where I realized some things. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not perfect. Oh my goodness, I'm like, I have a lot of work to do. So another thing for me during the shutdown, I've been spending a lot of time on my phone. And on my phone, I don't mean communicating with people, I mean just being, probably most of the time, on Instagram. I enjoy Instagram. So I realized the past week, like as I was spending time on my Instagram, I started feeling like, I don't know what's that feeling, whether it was jealousy or what, but the thing where you're like, oh my goodness, I'm not doing, like it felt as though I'm not being productive or whatever. I've been doing assignments and stuff, but then it was the thing where I that's when I started really looking at my life and be like, what do I have? Like I don't know, like I just started feeling like I'm so behind in life. Like what am I doing? I stopped writing because I don't have a laptop. My laptop died, so I do most of my work at the school library, so that has been a setback for me. So it was the thing where I've been writing, but I can't post my writings even though I have like an iPad and my phone. It's a bit hard. I'm still learning how to do that. I'm going to continue posting, but then it was that thing where I had to sit down and realize, oh my goodness, I'm really bad at this. I suck at communication. I suck at keeping in touch. I started even communicating with myself, which means I haven't been communicating with myself. I haven't been talking to myself. So it was the thing where that's when I realized, like, oh my goodness, I've been ignoring myself so much that I didn't know how. Like, I remember praying like the past Wednesday, like I just told God, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I was crying because of every area of my life. So with this shutdown for me, like spending time alone, like depression came in the form of questioning myself and my value. I was questioning myself a lot. Like, I was like, am I really a worshiper? Am I really called? Am I really this? Am I really beautiful? Am I really smart? Am I really this? Like, it made me question a lot of things. And I think that was because I was letting, actually not that I think, I was letting the devil preach to me, to come to me and be like, you're not worthy to be a minister, or you're not worthy people's company, like you're not worthy, you're not worthy of the connection that other people feel with other people. Because that's one thing I was asking myself. I was like, how can I struggle with connecting with people? I'm a communicator by profession. How can I struggle with communication? How can I struggle with keeping in touch with people? So it was that thing where it was bothering me so much, because communication is like my biggest area. Like, it's one area that I know, but then it was one area that in my personal life I was struggling with. But professionally wise, I'm good, like I'm up to date with my schoolwork. But then emotional wise and relationship wise, where I look, I was like, my goodness. I was telling one of my friends that I don't think by the time I come out of this isolation I'm going to have friends. I was telling him that I think that people hate me after this, because that's how I don't know whether how I felt or how I'm still feeling, where I feel as though people don't understand. But and that's a lie. One thing that I learned this morning as I was reading the word, that's the lie of the enemy. Like, God is there, God is with me, God understands, and he's my greatest friend of all. So even if I don't feel a connection with other people, for him, he's in my room. Like, even as I'm speaking right now, just to be reminded that God is watching over me, to be reminded, like, just being reminded that God is with me. So today, in my house, like apartment, it's not house, apartment, we have a balcony. I was just standing outside listening to the word. So I was just listening to a sermon online, but then my mind was so not there in that sermon. But it was I kept on, like, I remember feeling like something inside, like a reminder that I'm a twin. So I've been that sick twin sister, the one who's always sick from like birth. Like, I've always been that child who's always rushed to the hospital. So I was being reminded that God has been fighting for this life that I feel like is not worthy, this life that I've been questioning so much. God has been fighting for this life, and he's been loving me since. So I want to encourage those that suffer from depression during this season. You are not alone. You matter. You are loved. You are enough. Like, don't allow the devil to preach to you. Like, reach out. Like,